Is this thing on? Hello everybody, welcome back to Feed the Beast Infinity Evolved Expert Mode with TechnoJock. I've just been out to my quarry and replaced the resonant cell with a fully charged one and picked up some of the goodies that it has given us. So we're going to get rid of some of this stuff into here just now, and not that, some of that, and some of that as well. And we're going to head on over here. You'll see some differences in the base. I had a little bit of a joke at Stalker's expense the other day. He thought that these were an AE2 core, but no, these are a Futura block with neon lines. But I thought it would be quite funny for him to walk into my base and see this and think that I had an AE2 system up and running. No such luck. We are just running with this inventory panel that we got going the other episode ago, and it's not great, I've got to say. I'm not thrilled with it at the moment. I kind of ran out. I kind of think I've been kind of using it wrong, to be perfectly honest. So I want to redo this setup just now. You'll see that I've kind of got these too deep just now, because if I go over here and have a look in here, we'll see that we've got celery seeds and things in here, and if I go over here and do a search for celery, I don't think it's going to show up. Well, the celery seed is there, but I think if I go any further than that, then it doesn't show up. But really, it's kind of stretching things a bit to go all the way around there. So I want to move this panel, and I want to shift it over kind of more centrally, maybe even move it out a little bit, and then I can have these drawers kind of stretching around a bit more, and it'll be a little bit more sensible. Also, I need to upgrade the extraction rates from here, because the return area tends to get a little bit clogged up, and also we're actually out of this stuff. Yeah, we're starting to use the nutrient from the buffer there. I do have some more set up over here. Our vat was making us some more for us, but we've run out of the heads or skulls or whatever we need in there. But we've got a good amount of nutrient distillation. But what I really want to do is get a second vat set up, hook it up to the power supply, and just have that supplying the system, so we don't have to worry about drums of it. We can just have an automatic output from the system of sugar and of any heads that go in, because we do have some skulls and things kicking about in here, and I think we've got some. If we do skull, yeah, we've got 18 of those skulls, and heads, we've got Enderman heads as well, although I don't think I wanted to use them all up. Not sure if I covered this. I've put on some extra bits from here because we had a bit of a bottleneck for the power there, so I've done that, and I'll upgrade that at some point. Going down, oh no, we've got some more lasers over here, so things were going a little bit quicker, and I have shifted some stuff around up here. You'll notice some gaps here and some things not where they were, because if we go down here, ta-da! We have done something a little bit different with our reactor setup. Now, I will say this straight off the bat, I am flying close to the wind. I don't have any shielding around this thing. If this blows, it's going to take a good amount of my base with me. But we are pretty set up down here. Now, what we've got here is we have got an almost fully automated system. We can come down here and chuck in some uranium ore, and it will be processed and made into the fuel rods. Any fuel rods that are depleted in our reactor will come out of there and be centrifuged and become tiny piles of lead and stone and stuff, and the plutonium, which I'm going to be very careful. I'm going to get changed into my hazmat suit for this bit. So, what happens in here? Uranium ore comes into this chest and gets plonked in here and goes into our macerator. After it goes into the macerator, we get the crushed uranium ore, which comes over here and goes into our ore washing plant. Or, if we're backed up, it'll come over here. From the ore washing plant, we get this stuff: purified crushed uranium ore and stone dust. Stone dust goes back over here. And then from our purified crushed uranium ore, we get the tiny piles of the uranium-235 and these things of uranium-238. Uranium-238 comes into this bit of our cyclic assembler, and the tiny piles of uranium-235 go over into this bit, whereupon it is made into the pattern that we've got with the 3 tiny piles of uranium-235 and the 6 bits of uranium-238 around it, and gets made into the enriched nuclear fuel, which comes over here and gets put into the empty fuel rods. If we put any iron ingots into here, they come over to this metal former, get rolled out into metal plates, and then they come over to this metal former, which extrudes those metal plates into fuel rods, which come over here and then have the enriched nuclear fuel put in them. And the nuclear fuel rods, the fuel rods with the uranium, come over and either go into this chest or come through the decontamination bit, or they come out into here. So if you remember, we had all this set up. These are new. These reactor platings are not strictly necessary for our design, but what they do is they take up an extra slot. So this is filtered. I don't think I can get to it from here. Can I? No, I can't. And I'm not about to dismantle this. But the filter here is set that it will only allow in fuel rods, and it will only take out depleted fuel rods. So the only thing that can be removed from here is the depleted fuel rods. None of these are going to get taken out, and the only slots that would be left for nuclear fuel rods to go into are going to be these ones. We will upgrade it so it will have these other 6 columns available. Each reactor casing that we put on, each reactor chamber that we put on, will open up one of these. So there's space for 6 round it, the 4 sides, top and bottom, and each one of them will open up these. And then we can, what we do for each 3 that we put on, we can recreate this. So we'll have 3 times this, and that will give us a good amount of power. And you can see our wiring through here. We have, for the ore washing plant, there's a infinite water source under here and a node that fills up this. You can just see some of the piping there. And then we've got this Ender-IO conduit under here, which was not the cheapest thing in the world, but to be able to make it all fit, it needed to go in there. We do have some power conduit going up there, but we're going to address that in a minute. So we've got all this set up, and we can easily just expand this wiring out. As long as we've got the filters right, we can have even more of these reactors in here. And I think we could probably make 9 reactors fit into this room relatively comfortably. I think we could easily do something about that. I think that's what we need to do. But I'm very pleased how this came out with these. We've got marble on the floor and these tiles, which I think looks pretty cool. We're using this laboratory block and this steel framed glass from Chisel as well. Got some vents there and these big fans. I know they're slightly off center, but there's no centering these ones. It seems to depend where you put them down in the chunk where the pattern for these appears, which is a little bit of a shame, but we've got some nice edging around it as well. Looks pretty cool. We've got these fluorescent strip lights. I think it all looks rather nice. So I'm very pleased with how this has come out. But as you'll have seen when I was going around these machines, these ones don't have any power on them. Why is that? Well, we come over, we can actually, I'll take my suit off and put my jetpack on. There is some wiring behind here. We can go in through here and have a look. And we've got this bat box here. Didn't bother with an MFE, just a bat box, and it does have a tiny bit of power, and it's feeding into this capacitor bank, which is just here for this cyclic assembler. It's the only machine down here that actually uses the RF power rather than EU. Everything else is hooked up with that. But if we go seal that up, we will be opening that back up in a little bit. But we can go up here, and this is the wiring that comes out. Now this is the output directly from the reactor, and this goes all the way up and feeds our capacitor banks upstairs. This wiring, on the other hand, goes down to feed the centrifuge and the ore washing plant and stuff, and this bit goes down for the two metal formers down there. But the problem being, this MFE is only charged when the reactor is on. Now upstairs we don't really have a huge amount of draw on power at the moment, so it's not turning the reactor on. So this has actually been drained by the stuff I've been doing to get a little stockpile of fuel rods. So what I really want to do is have this set up on a completely self-sufficient power system, so it's not dependent on actually what we've got hanging off the reactor. And I was kind of wondering how I was going to do that, and then I remembered I have some spare things upstairs. We have in this box, some of these leadstone solar panels that we've got from setting this up. Now I haven't completely given up on the leadstone solar panel or the solar panel farm, but the amount of resources it's going to take is something like 1.8 million iron ingots and 1.8 million electrotine, and I don't have that kind of stockpile yet. Hopefully I will have, and we can set this all up, but at the moment we're going to need to rely on the nuclear power for a little while. So what I want to do is, I want to take, I don't know how many of these I'm going to need. I'm going to take 4 of them, and I'm going to make a little solar farm out the side. Now I need some concrete. I'm going to need some more than that. Let's get gravel, isn't it? Oh, we've actually we'll have plenty of concrete over here. Do we? Yeah. Yeah, we've got plenty over here, and I want to get some carpenter's wedge slopes, which I think I should have a few of. Got those. And if I get some sticks, yeah, we can go. Let's turn that to storage. Let's go like that, and go like that. Let's get a few. We will use more. Right, let's turn that off and head on outside, so long as it's not nasty o'clock. Let's get ourselves some weaponry for stepping outside. And our bolts. There we go. And it is 9 o'clock. Right, let's sleep, and I'll be back in a sec. Morning has broken, and we've got a little area here that we can play with. I want to put it here because if we go straight down from here, then the reactor room is under this wing. So let's get some of this concrete out. We want to make it a little section like this, I think, or maybe certainly want to have it like that. Maybe I'll have it. Want to have it kind of a miniature version of what we've already got on the as this really. And if we do something like that, and then have these in here, and like that, then it'll be kind of the same idea as that. Yeah, and it makes it kind of a well. That could be quite good. And then if I do something like that, should have my carpenter's hammer in here. Let's have a wee play with that. A couple more. Like that. And then something like that. It'll need some trim on it. It'll need some of this metal trim on it. Let's grab some of that and let's see. I know it's a rare occurrence. I'm doing an aesthetic build on camera. Don't get too used to it. But let's see. We should have some factory blocks. Those are factory blocks. That's the Tyrian ones. And let's grab these ones and our chisel. And we'll need our saw as well, whatever that is. There it is. I always find that shuffling my bag like that helps. So let's go back out here and see what we can do. Why is that there? Why is that concrete and not sand? That should be sand. Right. So how are we going to do this? Let's get the chisel on the go. Let's chisel these into these factory blocks. And if we get... We'll just start off with a little bit just now. And go like that. Would a little band around that bit, but then we're not going to be able to go around this diagonal. Not quite sure if I like it like that. Let's do that and that. Let's have another look. Yeah, I'm not quite sure if I like it just like that. What about if I pop those off? Right, and we try making the sides with that. How does that look? We'll take that off. Might still keep that though. That looks not bad, and then the trim there and there, maybe more trim there and there. Does that look terrible? I might need that and that just to square it off a little bit. Not quite sure. Now I think if I'm pretty sure if I put anything on the top of this, it's not going to work properly. If I do like that, I'm pretty sure that's not going to generate, but it would be nice if it did, because I think that looks quite nice like that. I really quite like that. Let me see if that actually does generate. I need to get a... what am I going to use to put on that to see if it does generate? The thermoelectric thingbob. The thermionic fabricator, because that constantly drains power. Perhaps shouldn't have broken it like that, but we will go and see if this thing keeps getting power. That's a good tester. I need to landscape this a bit as well. Right, let's pop this under here. Right, that's draining. And let's break it again and see if that goes up. It does go up, so that is transparent. There we go. And I quite like that, like that. That looks kind of cool. Okay, we have a plan. Right, let's go fill in those. Let's take these. Go like that. If you're wanting to break these, by the way, just used the actual another carpenter's block to break it, because if you, oh, well, actually no, because an actual pickaxe, oh no, it does as well. I could have sworn it made it more difficult. There we go, that's better. And cycling through these doesn't go through all the permutations, it goes through the most common ones though, so it actually makes it a little bit easier working with all these sort of common slope edges and things. Right, and then we can build out from that side, build out from that side. Need to put, no, need to put something down there so we can build on top like that. And we can put the other ones on in a sec. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. That's not, definitely not what we wanted. Let's get this back to what it should be. There we go. Still think that face is a little bit blank. Should I have that? And maybe just that. Yeah. Let's do that. So I need some more of those. Like that. And we can go like that. Yeah, that looks nice. I like that a lot. Yeah, that'll do nicely. Perfect. We've got to get this side as well. So this is our little light well. And now we need to go all the way down. And I'm going to put on my engine. And I'm going to do the bad thing of digging all the way down. Like this. And yeah. Just broken out down here. I've just made this a two wide hole. It doesn't need to be much bigger than that. And yeah, we've just come out right here, which is perfect. So I can make this room a little bitty bigger to work in down here. Let's see. We need it to come in, and it needs to be RF power coming in. So we need to switch things around a bit, because at the moment that the power is coming in is AE and being switched over to RF here. That's not an issue. And it's good that we've got a capacitor back for a little bit of a buffer. Now, the way I need to shift the power down here though is either I use the immersive engineering ones, cables, or I do something and get leadstone flux ducts. Now, leadstone flux ducts are reasonably cheap, but what are the hardened flux ducts like? Hardened flux ducts are the exact same, only it's refined iron hardened glass. I'm going to make a bunch of them, but not use them here. I'm going to use them for the power grid upstairs from the other solars and from our MFE that we've got on the roof of here and over. That's what I'll do. And now we get to the point that we need to just go boop, boop, and boop, like that. We've got our other solar panels there, so we can pop them on top, and that's everything connected up from the bottom. Very pleased with how that's looking. These are draining quite quickly, which means they are charging up stuff downstairs, which means if we toddle back through there and head on down, I say downstairs, there are no stairs. You know what I mean. And in here, we can just double check and make sure everything's okay. Yep, that is not charging. Why is that not charging? Probably because it's set to not charge from the bottom. Input. And it's going. Excellent. Okay, so that's only going to give us a little bit of power at a time. But we will be upgrading those solar panels as we go. We just go that on top there, that on top there, connect these up like that, and this is getting power. This is draining really quite quickly, but that's fine because that's how much power can be transferred through that connector, 1024. So it's going down at 1024, but it's charging at the same time with that. That should be okay. I'm going to close that up just now. These are powered. These are powered. These are also powered. Excellent. That's powered. This is doing the ore washing, and it is going at the moment and is fully powered. This is fully powered and is heating up. That'll take a while. We do have some fuel rods in there, and we've got, wow, we've got well over a stack. We'll need to do something about getting rid of the tiny piles of lead dust and some of the stone dust as well. But we are in good... Oh, and the power is on through here. Let's go and have a look at this. So this is going. It's on and using fuel. I don't think I covered this bit as well. The wireless receiver, just wireless redstone. It's just set up to come in on channel 2000. Come on, let me out. Thank you. Yeah, channel 2000 set up from upstairs with the power monitor. I'm not sure if I actually went through that last episode. This power monitor that I made is just set to engine control, and it emits a signal when it gets down to 75% full, and it stops once it gets to 99% full. So yeah, there we go. That is charging up a little bit. So that's all good. Everything looking fine. Well folks, that takes us up to the end of another episode. So, I hope you've had a fun and learnt some things. We're well on the way to getting a far more sustainable power system going here. I will go ahead in between episodes and flesh out the reactors in here and see what we've got going, and we will see about how that storage system upstairs is going to behave itself going forward. Please do leave a like if you liked the episode. It helps other people find these videos so they can enjoy them too, and if you haven't already, do think about subscribing, and definitely check out what the other guys on the Seasoned Gamers server are up to. Check out the links are over in my featured channels section. So until the next time folks, bye bye and have a funs.